Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we are looking at the Innova twintub washing machine, and the caveat in using any machine is to read the manual, as this one says read this manual. Now when you open every manual, you'll see a set of safety instructions. It will give you the safety precautions that you need to follow, the model number, the weight, especially for washing machines. Every washing machine has a capacity it can take, and since this one is a double, it has a spin aspect to it, and that one too has a limit of how much it can take. Now once you continue to page through the manual, it continues to give you more safety instructions. It is very easy to ignore some of these things because it looks like it's so much work, but you have to read them. There are so many warnings, there's so many symbols and aspects of this machine that if you don't take seriously, your machine will not have the longevity that it's supposed to have. So when you go through each of these, you'll understand what are the do's and don'ts of the usage of this machine. The quality of any machine is how you use it, and not basically its brand or whatever other people like to think. How you use it determines how long it can last for you. You can buy a machine and you can misuse it, and something that should have taken 10 years takes a less time. Now when you come to the installation, we have different aspects or different dimensions to the machine. Every single part has a name. We can't go into detail for each of them, but there are just a few: wash cover, the wash tub, the pulsator, and some, just to mention but a few. We have in the machine an inner spin cover and a water inlet. We will look at each of these practically so that you can understand how each part of the machine works and what the name is. So my advice to you is that when you get any machine, use the manual very wisely. Go through it, understand how it works, because when you understand how the machine works, it allows you to use it effectively. You didn't create a machine. The one who created it is giving you a manual, so to say. Like if you look at the Bible, it's a manual for us Christians. It gives us what God wants from us. Now the machine comes with so many different parts of it. It's called the Innova, and it has a caution: do not connect to hot water supply. Machines don't work with hot water. The best you can do is either lukewarm or cold water. If you put hot water inside, it will spoil it. And another reminder is the capacity: 12 kilograms. You cannot exceed 12 kilograms. If you do, you are weakening the machine, or better still, you will not have a good job from it. Now if you look into this machine, you see how spacious it is. It has a filter that allows you to collect all the debris that is from each and every material that you put in there. There's some materials that are woolen and different kinds of material that have a lot of debris when you're done washing. Now we will look at each aspect. We'll start with the wash timer. The wash timer has a set of minutes on it from 0 to 15. Now each of them signify the type of item that you're washing. We have 3, we have 6, we have 9, 12 and 15. And basically divisions of 3 minutes. Now the minutes here determine the length of time that you want to wash your clothes or whatever item you want to wash. You have to know what kind of material it is, how heavy it is, how dirty it is, to determine how many minutes. The maximum is 15 minutes. So if you have heavier items like your towels, your other items that are so heavy, you use that. And now to put water into the machine, we have the water inlet pipe. It works with a tap source. If you have a tap that you're connected to, you can just connect it and the water will enter into it very nicely. If not, you can also use a bucket of water to pour directly into the tank. If you don't have a direct water source, that's preferably a tap. And then now we come to the wash selector. We have two aspects: normal and heavy. Now When you go to the heavy part, it means that the items you're washing either are very dirty or they are very thick. I gave example of towels, I gave example of bed sheets or blankets. If the item is not so heavy or not too dirty, you can put it at normal wash. The material of what you're washing is important in the sense that you don't want it to wear off and get torn. Sometimes if you put it that heavy and the material is too light, it might tear the material. And now be very cognizant with the size of the tank. When you look into it, you can only fill the tank according to the item that you're washing and the size of the machine. In this case, it's a 12 kilograms, so you can fill it up to the point where the filter starts or just above the filter. Do not put excess water into it. It is just a waste of water. That's one thing. And also, you have to be cognizant with the fact that the number of items that you're trying to wash determines the amount of water. Now, on your right of the machine, we have the spin. The spin comes with a feature that allows you to go through the hassle of squeezing your own clothes, drying them afterwards and all of that. It has an air dry feature which uses air to dry your clothes. We'll go into that into detail a bit later on. Now we have a part that is very, very important, the drain selector. The drain selector comes with a wash and rinse or rinse feature, which means that when it is turned on to wash or rinse, you can wash or rinse, and it has a drain feature which activates the outlet pipe, which I'm showing you right now. This outlet pipe is where the water that is drained comes out from. You have to connect it to a drain or a gutter or anywhere that you can collect your dirty water. But you have to take note, when you're done draining, you turn it back to wash and rinse, so that the next time you're coming to wash and you pour water inside, you don't forget. And then when you pour the water, if it's a drain, whatever you pour inside will come out. So be very, very careful. When you put it at drain, automatically the water starts to flow out. Now be very careful with the detergent that you use. Normally it is easy to buy any detergent at all, but I prefer to use that of Omo, which is for washing machines specifically. It means that it is formulated so that it works well with a washing machine. As you can see, it says the washing machine powder, and it's for automatic machines. You understand? So when you use this kind of detergent, it allows your clothes to maintain their color, they don't fade, and also it cleans out very tough stains. Now, as I said earlier, we will discuss the second part of the washing machine, that is the spin. Now it has a timer, but before the timer of the spin is activated, you have to shift the nozzle, as you can see here, which is on the left, to the right hand side. Now when you shift the nozzle to the right hand side, it means that the spin has been activated. When you shift back to the left, it means the wash or rinse part is activated. You have to be very careful before you start, and to make sure it is tuned to the place that you want to use. Right for spin, air dry, and then left for wash or for rinsing. Now when you open the air dry, you see that there are different aspects to it. There is a precaution, or there are precautions in there that give you do's and don'ts. A few of them are don't put in items that have been washed with hot water and many more. Now when you look inside it, I said earlier that it has a limit of 10 kilograms. You can't put anything more than that. It means that it will not be working at its optimum. If you put anything more than that, you will not have the machine live its destined life, so to say. It will spoil early. Now when you put your clothes inside, we have a timer. With the spin timer, it is limited to 5 minutes. That's not to say that you can't do 10 minutes. Simply means that if you want to do 10 minutes, you put 5 minutes first and then you do another 5 minutes. Now this all depends on the level of thickness of the items that you want to spin or to dry. When you put it inside, you now tune the spin timer to the number of minutes that you want. And when you do that, it allows you to remove excess water through the very pipe that I mentioned earlier as the outlet pipe. Now the outlet pipe is active in two instances: when you turn the nozzle to drain and when you turn the spin timer on, because in all these processes it is releasing water out of the machine. You have to be very careful where you position the pipe. Now, as I said earlier, you can't put items that will exceed the limit. You have to be careful also. Even though it's a machine, you can put items in it, but you can't put items that are too heavy. You don't want to overburden the machine. The machine too has its do's and don'ts, and for you to successfully use your machine even more than its expected life duration, you have to use the machine in such a way that you don't overburden the machine. Now we come to the practical use of the washing machine. I mentioned earlier that if you don't have a direct water source, a tap that will allow you to draw water into the machine, you can use a bucket of water. That's if you have the strength though. You can pour water directly into the tank, which would also work just fine. You pour the amount of water that is equivalent to the amount of items you want to wash, but not exceeding the size of the tank. And when you pour the water, you make sure that you pour your detergent inside directly. This is a top load. A top load takes the detergent directly into the tank. Now when you pour the detergent inside, don't pour too much. Pour as much as you need, but not too much. Now you go back to the wash timer, and now you turn it on for a few minutes or preferably seconds, so that the water can mix very well with the detergent, so that it can lather. When it lathers to the point of your satisfaction, you now stop it. And also make sure that your filter is well positioned. Make sure that you check the filter before you even start washing, that is well positioned, because it collects all the dirt and the debris that is from the clothes that you are washing. Now the next part is to enter your clothes into your now well mixed washing machine. The water has mixed very nicely with the detergent. Look at it, how beautiful it looks. Oh, that's so nice. Now when you are putting the clothes in, it is preferable that you don't mix the clothes too much. You try and separate the clothes a little bit, so that when they enter into the machine, there is a little bit of separation between them, because the more the clothes are stacked together, it becomes difficult for the machine to separate each of them and wash it well. Now when you put in the clothes, you have to know the colors. For instance, what I'm putting in here, these are not white items. They are not, what we are putting in here is not white items, it's mainly colored items, so I can get away with mixing them. When you have white items to wash, it is preferable that you wash them first. Do not mix different colors in terms of white and then other colors, because there is a fear of the other colors staining your whites. Even if you wash with hand, you realize that you wash your white items first and then you wash your colored items. Now when you're putting your clothes in, as you see I'm putting them in, I'm not mixing them too much. You're putting them in small, little by little, and we are trying to do that so that there's separation between the clothes. And when you put them in, push the clothes so that they enter into the water very well. You push them down until you're satisfied with how it is. Some people actually like to soak the items in the clothes for a while before they put on the machine. You can soak the items for maybe 20-30 minutes depending on how dirty they are before you now put on the machine. And the caveat is that the machine must be plugged to to an electrical source. The machine uses electricity to work. It has to have a power source. Now if the lights are out, definitely you can't use your washing machine. So you turn your wash timer to the number of minutes that would do the job adequately for you. For these clothes, because they are colored, I would just like to put it at 15 minutes, and that would just be fine. After that wash, we would now take out the items. and then put it in the spin, but that will be in another video because that will take quite a while. I can't keep you here waiting for 15 minutes. So when we put it in, you're good to go. Now your clothes are washing and they'll be ready in the next 15 minutes. Now the machine gives a notification sound when everything is good to go, and make sure that you seal the top of the cover, otherwise the water will be splashing onto the control panel. The control panel must not be touched with water. Even if you are cleaning it, use a dry cloth, otherwise you will spoil the electrical features in it. All of these items are linked to the electrical feature of the machine. So that is what we would like you guys to know for now. Use the machine so that it will benefit you, and use it so that it will keep long and not spoil.